Hey y'all, welcome back to Shanetta's DIY Life channel. Thank you all for joining me today, and thank you to all my new subscribers. I hope you guys are having a marvelous day, and today I am going to show you a gorgeous tote bag made out of a basic t-shirt, as you see here. I got from the Goodwill, and it's so simple and easy, but I wanted my tote bag to be so much more because I have made this tote bag waterproof, and there is two separate compartments inside of the bag. So I'm hoping you guys are ready for this DIY, because as you have seen, the end product is just so gorgeous. I am using Heat and Bond gloss vinyl to make this tote bag waterproof. So what I am doing is I am basically laminating one side of the fabric for both sides of the tote bag, and this is what will make the actual fabric more taut, which means a little bit more stiff. And I like the look that it gave when I applied it to the opposite side, because I wanted it to look as if it's like a canvas type of material, and applying that vinyl to the one side of the fabric gives that canvas like look on the opposite side because of the Heat and Bond binding to the fibers. So it just fell into place when I was doing this DIY. So now I'm just cutting away all of the excess vinyl so that it can be the same size as the fabric, so when I do put it under my steam press, it will be perfect and I can move on to the next step. I'm making mine waterproof because I have children, and this tote bag will be holding sippy cups and bottles and all type of things. So to have it be waterproof for me is so much more beneficial than having things leak on a constant daily basis. So this is why I chose this option. This is some fabric I had left over from Joann. I am using this for an inner lining inside of my tote bag, and this is a no-sew DIY. So everything I am using to combine everything will deal with hemming tape, and this is what I used throughout the entire DIY, and it is great. And people think hemming tape is not strong. If you layer it, it is so strong. I feel like it's better than using thread and needle sometimes, because it gives us a great look. You don't see no holes or anything, and it also does hold really strong. So this is me just making all of my corners look as clean as possible, and I'm using small strands of hemming tape with my mini iron to go around the entire circumference of the actual inner lining for the tote bag. Because this is nylon fabric, this little mini iron is not penetrating the hemming tape to connect them 110%. So I went back with my steam press and gave it a good old steam press, press, and it literally melted it, and they're like completely stuck together. But before, when I tried to do it, it came off using just the mini iron. So I was like, yeah, I need to go over there and use some major heat. So now I have completely binded everything together, put on the front pocket, and now it is time to move on to the actual bag itself. I want to make sure that my liner and my bag are the same size, and so I am using some little lines going up the side of the actual fabric and using my little roller cutter to cut everything nice and clean. And I got this ruler from Dollar Tree in the hardware section. It's awesome to work with because it is metal, and so when I'm cutting things, it is giving me crisp lines, which is always awesome. Now I am going to connect the inner lining with the bag itself. So I have the bag with both of the shiny sides facing out and the fabric itself is in the center. So I am using some power tack that I got from Joann, that's also going to be linked down below, to where you can go and get this to apply the fabric to the plastic, because power tack and E600 is great for combining these fabrics together, or these type of materials together. I initially tried to use the hemming tape, but I was like unsuccessful. So I was like, what am I going to do now? But I figured, oh, I have this power tack and I have this E600, let me use this. So I am just using my silhouette scraper to smear around the actual glue and putting it on the fabric itself so that it can adhere. While you are working, be very careful because it's not 100% dried. It needs at least 24 hours for it to be 100%, combined together. But this is what I did. Here is a quick tip working with glue. I did a test experiment with a piece of glue and a piece of actual plastic, and I used the power tap. I put it underneath of my heat press, and I realized that if you apply heat to the glue on the fabric, it actually melts and it covers a wider area, which allowed me to get my glue to, number one, dry a little bit quicker, and to also adhere inside of areas I didn't actually apply it because it melted and it just spread out around. So I was like, oh, I love it. And now I am just flipping my bag inside out, and this is the outside, which has the fabric, and the inside, which has the inner lining with the pocket and also the vinyl. I put 2 holes at the top of the inner lining because that's where I was going to put the handles, but this is why I did the handles. I just used it by putting it through the fabric on the outside and doing a big knot. Here is my saying. I got this off of Google, a quick motivational quote search, and this is what I loved, and I was like, yep, I definitely feel this way sometimes. And to make the handles, I basically used nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and this is what I used to make these cute little knots at the end of them. I put a hole into the fabric using some scissors, and I push the nautical rope through. I do not cut them to make the handles. I make sure when I make the knot on one side, I just cut a long piece to start on the other side, and then I make a loop. I take a piece that's already been cut that's smaller, and I hot glue it around the loop, and I'm just looping around 3 times using my hot glue gun to make that knot. Just make sure when you are doing this knot at the end and you're looping the rope around, you are applying pressure every time you are using the hot glue. Well, this is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed my DIY, and I hope you guys love this bag as much as I do. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you guys again. Have a great day.